And speaking of the second episode, I'm about to recap it right now. This one was called The Magic is Back. Now, this is when Magic Johnson returns to the Lakers after recovering from his knee injury. And there's there's the news crew that's interviewing various people like Norm, Pat Riley, Paul Westhead, and they all have different reactions about Magic's return to the Lakers. Some are excited for him to return, while others like Norm is definitely not excited because, of course, he was the man while Magic was absent, and he's afraid that Magic's going to definitely take that shine away from him once again, like Magic did during his rookie year. And Norm's definitely not having that. Excuse me. And also, Paul's pretty apprehensive about Magic's return because the team is definitely thriving in the new run and gun offense without Magic, and he's afraid that Magic's going to mess up the flow and the chemistry, and they're going to have to tailor their game to him, and also Paul's going to have to tailor his offense to him. But Pat, he's definitely not worried. He feels that Magic's going to be just fine fitting in with everybody. And also, he's definitely going to get the hang of Paul's new run and gun offense very quickly. Now, also, Jerry West proposes a trade. He wants to trade Norm for David Skywalker Thompson. Pat Riley, he's down for the trade. Bill Sharman, he's down for the trade. But Paul Westhead, he's definitely not down for the trade. He feels that Norm was a big factor in them winning the championship, and also he feels that Norm is more, qualified to run his offense than a Skywalker can, even though Skywalker is a superstar, one of the best players in the NBA. But Paul's definitely not feeling this trade proposal. But the rest of the front office are, and they're ready to go. Now, also, Jerry Buss, he's having reoccurring dreams about the woman that got away named Honey. He was really in love with this woman. This was long before he blew up in real estate and eventually ended up buying the Lakers. He definitely had his regrets of letting her go, but excuse me, the last few nights he's been dreaming about Honey. He wants that old thing back. He wants, like the song says, the love we had stays on my mind, and that's definitely Jerry West. He's definitely still in love, still pining for this woman even now. Now, Magic comes back, and he finds out that Norm is going to still be the starting point guard, and Magic's going to come off the bench, but he's definitely not feeling that. He says, he puts on a great game face for the media, saying that he supports it, but in actuality, Magic doesn't. He's definitely not feeling it. He can't stand the fact that Norm has his spot. And he definitely thought that he was going to be the starting point guard once he got back. So, Magic's first game back, Paul basically buries Magic on the bench for a long period of time, trying to prove a point to send a message to Magic that, hey, this is my team and I'm the coach, and you gonna, do what I say. It's my way or the highway. And a lot of the crowd is very pissed over the fact that Paul's not playing Magic because that's the person they came to see. They've been looking forward to his return, and Paul's being, hard-headed and egotistical. So Pat tells him, like, all right, man, you made your point. Come on, put him in. So Eventually, he does put Magic into the game for Norm, and it definitely does not go well. Magic is just turning the ball over like crazy. He's not fitting in with his, he's not in a rhythm with his teammates with his new running gun offense. It seems like, the game's passed him by a little bit, and he's definitely having confidence issues, afraid that he's going to re-injure his knee once again. So, Pat is definitely observing this, so he decides to have, a talk with Magic and basically gives him a pep talk about becoming the man. And he and Pat start having these secret practices to rehab his knee to get him back in game shape. And he's still, having confidence issues, and Pat just tells him to stop thinking. Now, during that one of the practices, Pat steals the ball, runs on the other end, scores a layup, which was funny. But yeah, Pat just tells Magic to just stop thinking, just do, just trust your instincts, just go with the flow. Don't think, just do. Excuse me again. Now later on, Dr. Bus tracks down Honey, and now, she's a daycare teacher. She's not the same girl where they was, where they was getting it in the backseat of his Mustang anymore. So, he talks to her to see how she's doing, and he asks her to dinner to catch up. So they do. So later on, they do, go to dinner and catch up. And you can definitely tell he's falling in love with her again. They start reconnecting. He definitely wants that old thing back. Now, later on, a LA reporter talks to Norm and tells him that that he may be a part of the big trade to acquire, David Thompson. So he just tells how he feels, basically saying, hey, I'm the star, basically saying, hey, I'm the star. In 15 years, they're going to forget about Magic. Which was not a good move at all, because not only you airing out the team's dirty laundry, you throwing one of his main stars under the bus. So that's definitely not a good look right there by Norm. So once again, all the Jerry West, Bill, Pat, they all really want to go all in on this Thompson trade, but Paul, uses his the power that he has in his deal to veto any trade proposal. So he definitely shuts down that trade. He's not feeling it. He feels that Thompson's not going to fit with this team due to the fact he's a star, and that we don't need another star on this team. We got two of them. That's enough. And it's going to feel like that he's running the team instead of us. And we're going to have to reacquiesce he's going to, basically he won't reacquiesce his game for us because, he feels that he's too much of a dunker and that they need Thompson to be more of a shooter. He feels like Thompson's not going to sacrifice his game for the betterment of the team. Now, it gets very heated between, Paul and Jerry starts talking all kinds of crap to Paul, saying that the only reason why you're in this position because Jack ended up falling off of his Schwinn and hit his head. And they were really about to come to blows, but cooler heads prevailed. Excuse me. Now, back to Magic, despite the fact the private sessions that he and Pat are having, Magic still doesn't feel like he's ready for the playoffs. And Pat still feels like Magic can be that dude that really puts his team his team on their back and carry them to victory as well as to a championship. Excuse me. But yeah, so Pat and Magic continue to have their private workout sessions. Now Bill gets wind of, is in his office. He reads the newspaper and sees the quote that Norm put out to the report, and he is very, very upset. So, Jerry is really ready to do the trade for Thompson now, but Paul still not feeling it, and he shuts it down. He shuts down that trade. And now here comes the playoffs. The first round, they're up against the Houston Rockets. The Lakers are heavy favorites. A lot of people just feel it's nobody but Ralph Sampson. And Ralph Sampson and Moses Malone. And they feel that the Lakers should just, this should be an easy win for the Lakers. But it's not. The Lakers end up losing game one on their home floor, and everyone's just stunned. The Lakers are stunned. The announcers are stunned. The crowd in the forum are stunned. They can't believe that, this championship caliber team would lose to lose a game to a team like the Rockets. And you can just tell there's a lot of tension on the court between Magic and Norm for the comments that Norm said about Magic in the media. And game two, it really comes to a head where Magic and Norm get into a heated argument in the locker room, and they're about to, throw hands at each other. But Coop comes in, settles everything down, and, makes Magic and Norm apologize to each other. Now, Norm or Magic want to apologize to each other because both of them feel like they're right there in their feelings. But, Cooper gives them that stick, but Kareem, being the cap, comes in and, hymns up Norm and forces him to apologize. So they apologize to each other. But then Cooper wants both of them to hug it out. And, of course, they ain't with it because back then, men didn't really hug like that. But Norm and Magic eventually hug. Cooler heads prevail. They win game two. Excuse me. And force a game back in LA. And hoping that their season and their hopes of repeat don't come to an end. So back on the plane to LA, Paul goes to get himself a drink, and the same reporter that talked to Norm about the Thompson trade, tells Paul, feels that Paul Westhead was robbed of Coach of the Year and that he had voted for him. And then in the midst of their conversation, he tells Paul about the secret workouts that Pat and Magic have been having. Now, this really has Paul very heated. He, gets Pat. They go somewhere private, and Paul just lays into Pat for not telling them about the secret workouts. And also, he basically says that I'm running this team. Magic doesn't run this team at all. And, all the players, are hearing them argue because they're shouting to the top of their lungs. And Magic says, hey, I don't feel that way. I never felt like that. And Pat tells him, man, you need to just, you just need to let, set your ego aside for the betterment of the team. Like, it's not about you. And, excuse me again, little cough fit. And Pat tells him, like, you know, you didn't want Thompson because of your ego and your pride. And you just don't want to let those things, go. He said if we would have had Thompson, we would be up up 2-0 instead of on the brink of elimination. So then game 3 comes. It's a very close game, and the Rockets hit a go-ahead shot to put themselves up 1. Westhead calls timeout, and he wants Kareem to be. He calls, a play where Kareem's the first option, then Norm, then Coop. He doesn't even go to Magic in any kind of way. He doesn't have Magic be a decoy or nothing. He just shuts Magic out completely. Excuse me. But, Pat has a little conversation with Magic, to the side, and tells him be the guy. So Magic tries to be the guy and tries to hit, and, tries to go for the win and misses the shot. And the Lakers get bounced out in the first round by the Rockets in a major upset. Game's over, series over, season's over, and no chance of a repeat. But that was a pretty good episode, showing how everything's unfolding, the tensions between Paul and the front office, as well as Pat, may lead to Paul being dismissed by the team. And also, you can just see the frustration building up in, with Magic and Paul. You can just tell that things are just going to come to a head very soon, where Magic is going to demand a trade. And also, you can just see that Paul can't get out of his own way. He's letting his pride and his ego mess him up. Like, yeah, I know he wants to do what's best for the team, but also you got to know when to put your pride to the side, or when to move to the side for the betterment of the team. And Paul is Paul is still trying to coach with that college mindset with NBA players. And, Pat Riley, who played in the NBA, knows it doesn't work like that. So this was another good episode. Can't wait to see what happens next week.
Listen up, sports fans. Your favorite sportsbook, BetUs.com, is back for our 28th year of NFL action. With the industry's biggest sign-up bonus of up to 200%, BetUS offers our members the opportunity to cash in on all your favorite sports, including NFL, NBA, MLB, and more. We've also got hundreds of new casino games, including the coolest new European slots, and our live dealers are waiting for you at the table. Sign up at BetUS.com today to get into the action. BetUS, where the game begins.